Hello friends, I am Lydia Msimile, your insurance expert, and today I'm discussing about education insurance plan. I'm not sure whether you have ever heard about education insurance plan or a parent insuring his or herself and guaranteeing the children's school fees. So today it's our topic, why Somesa Plus, why me and you as parents need to guarantee our children for future education. Of course, it's every parent's dream to see their children graduate, seeing their children succeeding, seeing their children finishing school, and of course passing with flying colors. However, with the increasing cost of education and uncertainties in life like death, disabilities, and accidents, we may not guarantee just by words that my children will finish school. And since me and you have got a life and we do not know when we are stopping to breathe or when our maker is calling us, so it is to this point that I bring to your attention Somesa Plus, that at least we learn so much about it and how we can guarantee our future children's school fees. So for these risks, they are everywhere. Risks are everywhere. Risks of accidents on roads, accidents at home, accidents in houses. Like of recent, I was reading on social media, and I heard about a close friend of mine who just slid in their bathroom and died. You can imagine. People are crying of COVID. People are crying of COVID everywhere, but also other diseases, other accidents, other disabilities, and all sorts of risks are still killing people. So what can me and you do about this? We can register through education insurance plan, and we normally call it Somesa Plus, an education insurance plan with UAP Old Mutual, where we can insure our children's future education by beginning to save for them. By beginning to save for them, here I'll give an example that if we have a child in secondary 1, and of course in the next 5 years this child will be ready to go to the university, you can have a plan of only 5 years. 5 years, you only save for 5 years as an accumulation phase as a parent. Then UAP after 5 years can continue paying for school fees at university for also 5 years, assuming your child takes, say, medicine course of 5 years or law course of 5 years. So what we only do, we look at the schools that you're looking at. For example, it may be this parent who is looking at, say, Nairobi University, or this parent who is, say, looking at UCU University. So what we only do, we look at how much school fees that will be enough for that particular level or for that particular school. We sit down together and plan within 5 years and say, if we really need 100 millions in the next 5 years, for, say, Nairobi University, what do we need to save aside? What do we need to be deducted from our accounts and be taken to UAP and then be guaranteed of that future education? So what we only do, we calculate and see your monthly premiums, say for example 1 million per month, and that is what is deducted from your account. At the end of, say, 5 years, you will have saved, say, 80 million from your account, but UAP will give you, like, say, 100 millions, because it will come with bonuses, accrued bonuses, because we are not just sitting with your money however much you're getting the life insurance. We are keeping your money with some value, at the same time guaranteeing education, future education for your child. But I'm going to pose a question here. How about if a parent is saving and there comes death? What happens if our client at UAP Old Mutual passes on? Well, God forbid, we do not look at how much the parent will have saved on the account, because death is funny. Death can even come when the parent has just put in only 3 millions on the account, and that is only 3 months. Remember, we are looking at a policy of 5-year term, but then a parent has put only 3 months and he or she has passed on. God forbid. UAP Old Mutual comes in with child income benefit, where we contribute 12 millions per year. 12 millions per year because a parent passed on. Remember, the parent had a target of 100 millions after 5 years, but only saved 3 months and passed on. So no matter what we only look at what the 100 million, the amount of money the parent was looking at, not what the parent put on the account. Because you can compare the 100 million target for 5 years and only 3 months that the parent paid on the account. So we don't normally look at that amount because sometimes it is so small. Assuming your child was, for example, at Budo SS and you are paying 1.8 millions, that is only what we consider. That if we pay 12 millions per year and we divide it by 3 terms in a 3 terms in a year, it means your child will remain at Budo. In fact, your child will remain at Budo, continue getting the school fees, even the upkeep, even that time of visitation also, the money can also be enough to continue looking at what the parent used to give the child when he or she was still around. Then another benefit, we look at a disability. What if you're this kind of a parent, you are looking at university school fees, 100 millions in 5 years, you had only saved 3 months, and then you got an accident. An accident, both legs have been chopped off. Or you are in Mulago hanging your legs for some 2-3 years. When you go to Mulago casualty, you will see what I'm talking about. A lot is happening. Accidents are so much. Border accidents, motor accidents. So what are we talking about here? We are only saying that since risks are very many, and me and you could also wake up and get an accident, and we become total and permanent disabled. So what we can only do here is that you do not get worried so much, because on our 100 millions, EAP will come and pay 5% of 100 millions just to buy yourself wheelchair, to buy yourself medication, and at least the balance can also buy books for the child. But here what we shall only guarantee you will be the university education for the child, and we shall also stop you from contributing the monthly premiums, because at that time you're not working. You can imagine somebody who is hanging his or her legs at Mulago casualty for 2 to 3 years. You may be having a relative, or you have ever heard of a friend who is not working but had good education, but because of that disability, somebody is completely down. So for such cases, still your child will be guaranteed for the university education. Then maybe lastly, about death, before we start paying the school fees, after death of our insured their parent, what we do, we also pay for the funeral expenses. You know, at that time of death, everyone is on a panic. Death comes in just abruptly. No one just sits there and waits for it. So at that time, we don't want your family to begin running up and down. In EAP under Somesa Plus, that fund pays also the 10% of 100 millions. We shall still avail the 10 millions to pay for the funeral expenses before we begin paying the 12 millions per annum for your child. And after that, we shall still pay the school fees for university. What risk have I talked about? Death, which is the main risk, because no one knows when we are going to die. 2, accidents, which may occur or may not occur, but ask yourself if it occurs. Then 3, total and permanent disability, which may also occur or may not occur. But most of the people are in Mulago, in casualty, hanging their legs. People are at home with good education. They can no longer work because of what happened to them. So as a parent, it is wise that before we spend so much on buying trending clothes to our children, taking them out for ice creams, take them out of the country to move around, we should also know that one time we shall die and no one plans for death. So we should be careful on what we plan for our children. We should also put education as the first key, since these days death is so abrupt. We may not do so much about our children, but if me and you guarantee their education, then every other things they will provide for themselves when they have successfully finished school and they have graduated. Thank you so much. In case of any query and other questions, subscribe to my channel, leave a question, leave a comment, and I will be right there to answer them one by one. Thank you.